I've had some really hard dysphoria moments in my life, but I got through them, and I want to talk about how. Hi everyone, it's Fate, and welcome to day 8 of Daily December. Today I want to talk about something that's really important, but also really uncomfortable. My worst dysphoria moments and how I got through them. This isn't about trauma dumping, this is about being honest. Because dysphoria is something that most trans people deal with, and it can feel really lonely if you think you're the only one struggling. The first moments. The mirror. In yesterday's video I talked about how me walking into my bathroom, seeing a mirror and seeing my true self for the first time. How that felt and how amazing that was. That was the first time I truly saw myself. The mirror also had some dysphoric moments, and this was one before I came out. I walked into the same bathroom where I finally saw myself for the first time, but this was before I came out. And I looked into the mirror and I didn't recognize the person that was looking at me. I just felt wrong, like something was missing. Like the image and the person inside of me didn't match at all. I remember just running back upstairs because I sleep in the attic, so I have to go down into the bathroom. But this time I ran up into my room, shut the door, and just laid in my bed. There was just a sort of panic going through me, and like not a panic attack, but just this sort of sadness, like, is this how I'm going to look forever type of sadness. That was the question I was asking myself, and that really made me feel sad. What helped was telling myself that this is not my final form, that it's just where I am right now, and that it's not where I will be in a few years. Luckily for me, because I wasn't that cute of a boy. I didn't have answers yet, but I had the promise that things would change. And that promise, that idea, kept me going. The second moment, being misgendered in public. I've gotten misgendered in my life quite often before I actually fully started passing a bit more, because I would say for myself that I kind of pass most days. And this was before that. I didn't look feminine at all, so I couldn't expect people to actually gender me correctly at the time. But there is this one memory that's just burned into my memory. I got misgendered loudly in public, which is not shocking, but I was already feeling very insecure at the time. And it felt like the whole world looked around to look at me. They turned around to look at me. And that it felt very overwhelming, because I am an introverted person, and having the spotlight on me in public without me wanting it, really, it makes me speak nonsense. When I don't expect it or when I'm not ready to talk with anyone, I just say the most random shit, and I cannot change that. I held it together at the time until I got home, and there I just broke down for a second. Not for a second, for a little while. It wasn't just getting misgendered, it's just a reminder that the world didn't see me yet as who I wanted to be, as who I am now. And like I said, that was completely valid because I didn't look feminine at all. So I cannot expect people to look at me and see a woman at a time. Right now I do expect that because I haven't been misgendered in 3 years. That's a stretch. That's a fucking stretch. I haven't been misgendered in 1.5 years, maybe. Literally half what I just said. 1.5 years, I think. Oh no, I have been misgendered recently. It was on the phone. It was just and what's your name, sir? And I was like, okay, but I get it because it's my voice. But in panic, I just froze. I couldn't say words. So I was misgendered for my voice, which also doesn't happen that often, surprisingly, because my voice is pretty deep. People don't associate it with being trans with me anymore. They just associate it with me having a deeper voice. Cis woman can also have a deeper voice. I got through that situation by telling myself that those people don't know me, and that this is not how it's going to be forever. And I surrounded myself with people who did know me, who did see me as me. That moment of ignorance didn't erase my identity. I don't blame that person, like I said, but I will never let ignorance define my identity. The third moment, early transition changes being slow. There was a point early in my transition where I felt like it was all going very, very slow, like there was no changes happening. No changes, no progress, no relief. I checked the mirror every day in that same bathroom. I don't know why I'm always talking about my bathroom, But in that same bathroom mirror, I looked at myself every single day and I was expecting to magically see my entire face change, everything change about me just from one day to the other. But like, that's so unrealistic. But that impatience turned into dysphoria. It made me feel like I was failing, like everyone was transforming except for me. I had to learn patience the hard way. I got told that my body is not a race. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Change will come, but you have to give yourself time. It's not going to happen magically overnight. And looking back, the changes did come, in ways I didn't even notice at the time. I realized it months later. The fourth moment. My voice. My voice caused some of my worst dysphoria. Hearing myself in a recording was like someone put knives into my throat. That feeling, it was just like, is that the noise that comes out of me? I avoided speaking in certain settings. I still do. I still avoid speaking. In loads of situations, if people are around me that I don't know, or that I get like bad vibes from, I just prefer not to speak. I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble, and I don't want to be in big trouble.
So I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble, and I don't want to be in big trouble.
So I didn't even risk it. I overthought every single word. And it felt like the loudest reminder of me not being seen as the way I wanted to be seen. I got through it because of time, practice, and kindness. I stopped expecting myself to sound a certain way just from one day to the other, overnight. Instead of fixing, I focused on expressing. And slowly my voice became something that I didn't fear as much anymore. I still feared a little bit, like I said, I don't like speaking in public, but in general, I'm quite okay with how my voice sounds. I can listen to myself talk now. I feel way more confident about my voice. Even though it's still a thing that I struggle with sometimes, but most of the times I'm fine. I'm okay. The fifth moment, feeling like I wasn't enough. This one is emotional. I had a moment where I didn't feel woman enough. Not in comparison to a cis woman, but in comparison to other trans women. I felt like I didn't belong anywhere. I felt like I was doing everything wrong. I had to learn that womanhood isn't something you measure. There's no ranking, no checklist, no score. Your identity is your identity. And mine was just as real on my worst dysphoria day as on my best euphoria day. The truth about dysphoria. The hardest part about dysphoria is feeling that it's gonna last forever. But it doesn't. It changes. It softens. It becomes easier to manage as you grow into yourself. And every dysphoria moment I've had, I've survived. Even the ones that hurt. Especially the ones that hurt. I wanted to be honest today because dysphoria is real, but it's not the whole story. The same transition that gave me some of my worst moments also gave me some of my happiest moments. And the more I became myself, the quieter dysphoria became. I still struggle with dysphoria. I don't think I will ever be completely free of all dysphoria. But it's so much better than when I started my transition. If you're going through this right now, please remember, you're not broken, you're not failing, you're not alone, and you will get through it the same way that I did. Thank you for being here for day 8 of Daily December. I love you.